Hi, Sir Reynard. So, I'm going to share to you today my experiences, the lessons that I have learned during my pre-service teacher journey. So, I have done a lot of teaching demonstrations, though it is conducted online, but I still got the chance to know my students, to connect with them. So, because of that, I have learned that teaching is teaching is the most ano bitong most kanang fulfilling profession, because you get to teach students, you get to impart your knowledge, you get to facilitate them into learning on their own, and at the same time you get to learn from their own experiences, because teaching and the learning process is a lifelong experience. It does not just happen inside the four corners of the school. It extends into the outside life, into the real life events, and those learnings that you learned in school can be used by you when you go out into the outside world. So I have this student. She shared to me about her being an athlete. So she said that when she joined competitions, she used to worry about getting the first place or just being into the rank. Yes, and there was a time that she did not get into the top three, so she was very embarrassed, and she planned to quit because she did not feel motivated. Then, because of that, I realized that teachers should help students in guiding them towards what they really want, what they really need to do in order to overcome those experiences. So, as a teacher, I advised her to take a break, relax, lie low, just enjoy the moment, and bond with her friends, with her family. So when she goes back to training, she would find that motivation, the inspiration that she needs to do good. And after that, the student goes back to what she loved doing. She goes back to training, and when the student did good after my advice, she thanked me, and that made me flattered. So my heart skipped a beat, and I think what I did to the student, what I said, so my advice helped her a lot, and it helped her in doing good, and I also think that what I did is also good. Sige na.
Now, Teacher Christine, I'm going to share my journey or my experiences in my pre-service teaching. So, along my journey, I really learned a lot. I really reflect so much on on my teaching skills or strategies, and during my classes that I reflect that am I doing good, or I did good ba. So as a pre-service teacher, I am trying to live by the principle of being persistent, being resilient, and responsible, because it is important to let your students or let your student feel cared for, feel comfortable, feeling safe. So during my journey, I am really grateful that I heard so much experiences. I heard so much information, ideas from my students, from my classes, because my students didn't hesitate to share their experiences in life, their knowledge about the certain topics. So during my pre-service teachers, I learned not just in the context of learning but beyond, because during my, for instance, one of my student in the class, that our topic is about tobacco consume. For instance, one of my topic is about tobacco consuming. I shared, I was able to, one thing as well that I learned, or that I appreciate in this profession, is that I had a chance to be vulnerable, or to be, to share, or to be who I am, or to be, not to be afraid to be vulnerable to my students, because my students are really are really ano nang,
Assisted.
they are yeah. My students are so open-minded. They are willing to accept, or they are willing to listen to
Share.
me. They're willing to share their knowledge. So I in my in that topic, I was able to I become emotional, because it's so relatable to me, because my grandmother used to consume tobacco before, that it's not an easy task, or it's not an easy journey, because I experienced it firsthand, because I see how my lola struggle, because she is addicted to it now already because of the nicotine. So I see how my messages, or how my encouragement impact her, that because she she find alternatives, or she divert her kanang, instead of using tobacco, she gradually kanang divert it into into consuming of candies, or instead of tobacco, use candies, like that. So one of my student chatted in the chat box during our class, that how is she going to do, or what are the steps that she could do to also help her grandmother recover from the addiction of the tobacco. So I shared that in order for you to help your grandmother, I I I told her to be with her side, to be her support system, to be consistent, na to share her knowledge or ideas on the possible effects of tobacco consuming. So I good thing that after a few months, she chatted to me in the messenger that her lola is now in the process of kanang in the process of recovering from the addiction, because she noticed that her lola is not not always kanang into using of tobacco na, because she find ways also to, instead of kuha na lang lagi tobacco, kuha na lang siya, mag-consume siya, og mag-use na lang siya og candies. So it is so important that we pre-service teachers should share our experiences, be vulnerable, share, or be who you are, because that could be that that values is kanang so impactful to the students. The students can really relate to you. Be not just be as teacher, ay, be a teacher that is kanang transparent. Be a teacher that is so kanang be a teacher that is kanang be a teacher that is kanang hirap sabihin.
Transparent mo na gito.
Na lagi ito.
Tiya, gisum.
Be a teacher that is transparent to your students, because by that they will be able to be comfortable, be safe, and be in the zone or be in the safe space for them to share or for them to be able to represent their true selves as well.